My name is Richard Daley, Manchester, Connecticut. Yeah, we had a good upbringing. A lot of Little League baseball, love sports. Oh, did I see some baseball. Every weekend that they were in town, I was up there. Unbelievable. 10-year-old kid. And I was sitting there, and there was on the aisle seat, and I looked over, and there was this woman there. So she said, "Can I buy you a hot dog?" I said, "Yeah, sure you can." Would you like a Coke? That sounds good. And some peanuts. And I said, "Well, fantastic." So I'm talking to this young lady. Finally, around the 8th inning, she gets up and she says, "Well, the game's boring. I think I'll beat the crowd." And I said, "Okay, thank you for the hot dog." What else are you going to say? And she gets up and walks away. My grandfather didn't hit me in the ribs this time. He grabbed me by the shoulder. He said, "Do you know who you were just talking to?" And I said, "I don't have a clue." So I guess I have the distinction of Marilyn Monroe buying me dinner or lunch anyway. We won't embellish it into dinner, but wow, after that, every time Marilyn Monroe's name was mentioned in the screens and stuff, the newspapers, I had lunch with her. So that was one of the perks of going to these games. Just grew up in the time where it was easy to grow up in America. And then went to high school, and when I got out, went on to college, and all of a sudden they crept up with the Vietnam War. I got a draft notice, 1965, and that started my career, if you will, in the military. It was new and different, somewhat anxiety level was quite high, but once you got into it and you got settled in, you get over the nervousness, the anxiety. You kind of, what waffles over you is the fact that it's not going to happen to me, and there's death, potential death all around you. You kind of get immune to it, which is good and bad. The Air Force had a program, the only one in the 4 branches of service, that trained dogs. Very interesting. The first dog I had was killed in a mortar attack, March 10th, 1967. Yeah, you think I'd remember that. And I did 246 missions, 244 were at night. I volunteered for the night. Nobody else liked it. I liked the night patrols. If you get in tuned with your dog, Geisha, my second dog over there, I could actually tell her different alerts. Yeah, there was some good times. The dogs saved my life, and the first shot that was taken here was our pavers. I got involved a year or two ago on honoring dogs and handlers in the service, and also in the police department. Dogs are a wonderful asset to have. There was a lot of respect for the dogs. When you can pick up the enemy coming in 200, 300, 400 yards away, I had one alert that was over 900 yards, which is unbelievable. But one of the most nerve-wracking time, I was on patrol, and my dog alerted, so it gave me plenty of warning. I heard a group of people coming through the jungle, so I slipped off to a little ravine and laid Geisha down, and I laid down, and a small contingency of VC went one way, about maybe 25 feet away from me. Of course, my heart was pounding. I'm surprised they didn't hear it, and it seemed like hours. My uniform was soaking wet. I was so nervous. That son of a gun, Geisha, she just laid there and protected me. You could see the vigilance in her eyes. As soon as I put that working collar on, you couldn't get within 6 feet of me. She was so protective.
Wow.
It was unbelievable. I sounds a little hokey, but I honestly believe I wouldn't be here today talking to you if it wasn't for Geisha. What I got interested in years after, obviously, I was called by a group of people who were trying to raise money to promote the awareness of dogs and handlers in the military, and also in service dogs in the police department, in Homeland Security. I'm up to my neck in raising money for this statue. It's going to honor a Marine that was killed in Afghanistan, and it's going to be housed in a small town up in upstate New York. There's a particular Marine, his photograph, beautiful photograph of he and his dog Bruno, is going to represent all dog handlers and all dogs.